Ever wondered who ran the show before kings and queens? Long before the first crowns were forged, the Sumerians, the pioneers of written history, lived in a world governed by gods. Their society wasn't led by politicians, but by priesthood original influencers, who managed the city-states as divine representatives. Let's dive into the cosmic VIP list of ancient Sumer. At the very top, we have or Anu, the big boss of the heavens. Think of him as the ultimate celestial CEO, managing everything from stars to cosmic weather. He was the god of the sky, the silent ruler watching over all. Then there's Enlil, the original storm chaser. He was the master of wind, storms, and all atmospheric drama. If your crops got rained on or a massive tempest rolled in, you knew Enlil was having a busy day. I bet if he were around today, he'd have the most accurate weather app on the market. Next up, meet Enki, the water whisperer and the god of wisdom. He was the brains behind the operation, governing fresh water, human culture, and creation itself. Imagine a divine Bill Nye the Science Guy, but instead of a boaty, he's got the secrets to civilization. Enki was the problem solver, the innovator, the one you'd pray to for a flash of genius. Of course, what's a civilization without an Earth Mother? That's where Ninhursag, also known as Ki, comes in. She was the goddess of fertility, the earth, and all living things. She made sure the fields were fertile, the harvests were bountiful, and life continued to flourish. Basically, she ran the ultimate cosmic-scale organic farm. And who brought light to this ancient world? That would be Utu, the solar superhero. As the sun god, he delivered light, truth, and justice every single day. He was the one who saw everything, ensuring fairness across the land. His father, Nana, the moon god, handled the night shift. A perfect divine family business, right? But no pantheon is complete without a true superstar, and for the Sumerians, that was Inanna, later known as Ishtar. She was the ultimate triple threat, the goddess of love, beauty, and warfare. One minute she's inspiring poetry, the next she's leading armies into battle. Think of her as a divine Beyoncé, flawless, fierce, and not afraid to conquer the underworld for what she wants. Finally, we have Nergal, the ruler of the underworld, a place called Kur. This was the cold, dark cavern where mortal souls went after they passed on. Not exactly a five-star resort, but hey, eternal rest has its own kind of appeal. Nergal made sure the realm of the dead stayed in order. What's truly fascinating is that these stories didn't just fade away. The Sumerian divine memes went viral across millennia, influencing the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians who came after them. Their gods laid the foundation for mythologies that would echo through history. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Have you ever noticed how many ancient mythologies seem to share characters? It's like an ancient crossover event. The gods of Sumer, Egypt, and the Greco-Roman world have some uncanny resemblances. Let's start with Sumer and Greece. Both cultures were polytheistic, meaning they believed in a whole pantheon of gods, and these weren't distant, abstract beings. Sumerian gods, just like the Greek gods on Mount Olympus, had very human-like personalities. They got jealous, they fell in love, they meddled in human affairs, and they definitely had their fair share of drama. Compare Enlil, the Sumerian storm god, with Zeus, the Greek king of the gods. Both were powerful sky fathers who wielded the power of storms and thunder. You can almost picture them having a cosmic poker night, arguing over who has the more impressive lightning bolt. And what about the sea? The Greeks had Poseidon and the Romans had Neptune, both masters of the ocean. Well, the Sumerians had Enki, the god of water and wisdom. While his domain was more about fresh water, the core concept of a deity governing this life-giving element is a clear parallel. Now let's travel over to the land of the pharaohs. Ancient Egypt's pantheon is one of the most iconic, with gods like Ra, Osiris, and Isis. Just like the Sumerians, the Egyptians were deeply polytheistic. They had a god for the sun, for the afterlife, for wisdom, you name it. A powerful theme in both Egyptian and Greek mythology is the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Egypt's Osiris, the god of the afterlife who is famously resurrected, shares a lot of thematic DNA with the Greek god Dionysus, who also represents cycles of death and renewal. It shows a shared human fascination with what lies beyond and the hope of continuation. And let's get back to the goddesses. We've talked about the incredible Inanna, or Ishtar, from Mesopotamia. She was the goddess of love and war, a dynamic, powerful combination. Well, this archetype is not unique to her. Inanna had a West Semitic counterpart named Astarte, who shared many of her domains. And when we look at the Greco-Roman world, we find Aphrodite, or Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, and Athena, or Minerva, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare. Ishtar is like a blend of both, embodying both passion and power. It's like these ancient cultures were all riffing on the same core ideas, dressing them up in their own unique cultural outfits. The names and stories might change, but the fundamental roles these gods played, Sky Father, Earth Mother, God of Wisdom, Goddess of Love, remain remarkably consistent. Why? Perhaps it's because these archetypes represent fundamental aspects of the human experience and the natural world. Every culture needs to explain the sun, the storms, the harvest, love, and death. And what better way to do that than through epic stories of larger-than-life gods? So the next time you read a myth, whether it's about Zeus, Ra, or Enlil, remember that you're tapping into a current of storytelling that has flowed through human civilization for thousands of years. These ancient gods aren't just characters in old books. They are echoes of our shared human journey to understand the world and our place within it. Thank you so much for joining me on this mythological deep dive. If you enjoyed this journey through the ancient cosmos, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Let me know in the comments which pantheon you'd like to explore next. Until then, stay curious.